Business and procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Coach Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, folks, we're going to have a very special show. This is the last show before Christmas, and we're going to make it super special for you. We're supposed to have some guests today talking to you about our very special topic that we've been talking about. Balancing entrepreneurship, relationship, and love on the Business Zone. So,
right.
my co-host, what do you got to say?
Well, and today is, we're 2 days before Christmas, but on December 26th is actually KwanZaa. So today we're going to talk a little bit about KwanZaa and what that means, and far as the African American culture, and so we have a group today, the people of color. Mr. R.W. Akin is going to be on. They do a annual KwanZaa parade. It takes place on December 26th because that's when that is actually when KwanZaa kicks off. And this year, I have been asked to be the queen.
The KwanZaa queen.
The KwanZaa queen. So, myself and Tori Bannon Reese, he's a founder, and I'm director of the family of the Oba. He's the Oba, the king, and I am, as the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, I am the queen, Ayada. So that is what's happening today. And so we'll see what all that looks like. But I actually have someone calling right in. Gilbert, take over just for a second so I can answer her.
Okay.
And then I'll mute myself.
All righty. Well, folks, you are on the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and we're going to have an amazing show. For those of you who are just tuning in, please go to YouTube and check that subscribe button, and also click the like button. If you like the show, I'm sure many of you have been watching the show for a while now. You like it, but you haven't been clicking that button. So just go ahead and check the like button to let us know how you feel about the program. And also, if you have a comment that you want to put in that little box, go ahead and put a comment in there too. We provide a variety of resources on this show, guys. We tell you about how to become business ready, contract ready, loan ready, nonprofit ready, and get your books in order. As you know, having your books in order is the lifeblood of your business, your small business, and we try to help you out that way as well. And the way in which we try to do that and actually do that with you is we have my co-host, Coach Crystal Mitchell, who is a financial wizard. She can perform DNA on your books, guys. She can make sure those numbers fall in line, those numbers tell a story, so you can articulate the business from start to finish in terms of where that money is coming from, where it's going, how you gonna live, what's your gross profit margin, and all that good stuff. So yes, guys, this is the number one small business show in Southern California, which helps small businesses to understand how their business work.
Right. Now, Gilbert, one of the things the other day when I did a workshop for GLAC, the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce, I actually presented a challenge. And so my challenge was that everyone should be able to, should be using some of this time to project out what their financials are going to look like next year, some projection forecast, so that they're just not guessing about how they're making money. They actually know how they're going to make money. So that's one of the things. And the second thing I asked them to do was, if they didn't have an accounting system, a challenge for 2022 or 2023 is to make sure there is a accounting system in place make an appointment with myself, and we can help you get your accounting system up. But in 2023, I'm asking everyone to make sure they have an accounting system in
I
place.
love that. I
What do you
love it.
think about that?
Oh, I love that. That's what should happen, man. Because by giving you a challenge like that, it forces you to dig deep into your business finances, understand what it's about, be able to provide supporting information. So then, when your bookkeeper gives you something, you know whether they're blowing smoke or not. So
Right.
every business should have that, man. Oh, this is great, co-host. I love it.
So that's my challenge. So one, to if you don't have an accounting system in place, to get one in place, and there's some very affordable product. Don't let price and cost be the reason why you're not maintaining and maintaining your financial a wellness of your business, because there are products out there that you can use that does not that doesn't cost you any money, but will provide you with financial reports at the end of each month, which is so very important.
That's for sure. That's for sure, man. I'm loving that. And I'm thinking, co-host, since we're in the Christmas spirit right now, and this is a few days before Kwanzaa,
Okay.
maybe we should explain to our audience what Kwanzaa really is, what it's about, how it got started, and all of that good stuff. So here's what I'm doing. I'm sending you some information right now. I want you to go ahead and just check your email, and we can read from the same script right here. Okay.
Okay, that
So
sounds good.
so let me do that so we can go, because we want to talk about the 7 principles of Kwanzaa.
And it
And
really falls right in with what we teach about all every day, right? It falls
exactly.
right into place with that. So let me
Yes.
I'm gonna uh okay, so let me go to my email, my box. You're sending me
Yep.
something.
Yep. I just sent it to you. So, because I really want folks to understand, because you hear about Kwanzaa all the time and you're going, Kwanzaa, what the heck is Kwanzaa? I've never heard about this before. And Kwanzaa has only been around since the 1960s. So it should be long enough for you guys to know about it. But so for those of you who never heard of Kwanzaa before, we got to try to educate you a little bit here, so you
Right.
understand.
And the reason we want to educate you is because Kwanzaa is all about us as a people. It's a cultural event. I haven't gotten it yet.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
cultural event. Here we go.
Operating in
Cultural
community,
in the community, and it's about us becoming self-sufficient as people. So
Yes.
very very important that we become self-sufficient. And if we have not recognized what has been going on in the world today, with other ethnicities and other nationalities, they are just moving forward because they work in unity, right?
Yeah.
And I know there's many reasons why we don't work in unity, but
Hmm.
however, we really have to really garnish our power, and our power is really comes from us being able to work together as a group of people with the
Yeah.
same interests and goals. And I
Right.
would think us having economic soundness, a future for our children, um,
Hmm.
roofs over our head, and being able to take care of ourselves economically should be a common goal for all of us, if you
That's
ask
for
me. Now, I don't know
that's
about
for
anybody
sure.
else, but that's my thing.
That's
Being
for
able to
sure.
take care of myself, being able to take care of my family, being able to feel like I'm accomplishing and being a part of the community that I live in.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we want to do for you guys. Now, just remember this. If you're thinking about business, you're thinking about economic development, you're thinking about growth, you're thinking about support, you're thinking about how you can be helped. Many of you small businesses are trying to get grants to run your business and try to inject some fusion, some life into your business. So Kwanzaa is all about that and more. So and the way in which KwanZaa is run and operated, it's very symbolic, as well as I want to say in the form of sustenance. You get sustenance. It's like when you eat food, it gives you sustenance. You get your vitamin, you get your nutrients. That's what KwanZaa is all about. It's showing you how you can work together with folks in order to make this happen. Now, KwanZaa was created or established back in 1966. That's when it was created, guys. 1966. Just for those of you who didn't know that, that's the first time we decide to celebrate it here in the United States. So and this really was in response to the Watts riot. Just so most of you guys know that. When the Watts riot started back in the 60s, KwanZaa came about, and it helped to bring people back together. We try to unite folks.
Exactly.
Now, KwanZaa is observed from December 26th to January 1st. Every year, December 26th, the day after Christmas, to January 1st, New Year's Day. And it culminates gift giving, and it's a big feast. Big feast. It's like a harvest time, guys. You get all the foods, prepare all the meals, you plant all your crop, and at that time of year, you harvest. And you share with your neighbors, you share with your family, your community. That's what it's all about. Co-host?
Right. And you're also and there are 7 principles that are incorporated in the celebration. So those 7 candles, very much like the Jewish menorah, where each one of the nights represents and the candle represents a particular principle or meaning. And so and I know generally cultures or people that are very culturally connected have been very observant of KwanZaa. And then, of course, the one that's most Christmas, of course, is the very public, very commercialized celebration. But that doesn't mean because that you cannot celebrate KwanZaa as well.
Right.
It's a celebration of us. And I know for me, Gilbert, since I went visited the motherland this year,
Yes.
I'm really connected right now to my people because
yeah.
right, it's just because it was just, to me, it was absolutely phenomenal. And I'm sure you felt this way when you were in Jamaica, because here is a place that everyone looks like me. Right. Everyone is operating like me. And in Jamaica, everyone looks like you.
Right. That's true.
Right.
That is true.
Your stores, everything, your people, they look like you. Whereas here in America, we don't always have everything that looks like us. And
that's right.
I was really enthralled with the fact that when I went into the hotels, when I went into the restaurants, they looked like me. They were laughing and they were smiling and they were happy to see me. And they also were happy to see each other. And they were such a fun-loving grouping of people that I was like, wow, why can't we be like this? Right. Yes. I'm sure they have their own problems, but it was just a good feeling. So I'm really feeling KwanZaa this year.
I'm telling you, man, I'm feeling it too, because the thing that folks need to understand, that when you look at KwanZaa, especially when you look at the principles of KwanZaa, which we're going to go over, you will see that just the concept itself, the purpose in each one of those principles really align themselves with small businesses, because that's what small business is all about, or should be about, So, and the creator of this, which is Dr. Maulana Karenga, was a professor and the chairman of the African American Studies at California State University. He's the one who first came up with this in 1965 in response to the Watts riot. When it was that national upheaval within the country, they decided, hey, this is how we're going to bring peace to the community, to the area, and help folks. So let's look at principle number one. Well, first of all, you want to tell them how many principles there are, co-host?
There are 7 principles of KwanZaa, and so each one has a name, and each one of them has a purpose and a principle that we as a human being can live by. And so let me see if I can share the screen a little bit.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know if we can really see that. So there's 7 principles. Let me see why. Let me see. I'm gonna take the screen back and let me see if I can. Well, we can start, and let me see if I can find a one that's more easier to read.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead with the first one.
So the first one, folks, as you know, the first one is I pronounce it as Mazao, which is
actually the very first one is
Ujama.
Ujama. Yeah.
Ujama. Okay,
Ujama.
which is tied into the one I just mentioned,
Yeah.
Mazwa. Okay, so Ujama is unity, right? That's one that's professing unity for small businesses, for people in the community to come together and to make this thing work. And I've noticed that when small businesses come together, we combine our resources, we tend to become more prolific in what we do. We're stronger together, and you've heard that before. Stronger together. That's what small businesses is. So Ujamaa, or I'm sorry, it's Umoja. Umoja. That's what it is. Umoja. It means unity, and that's where you bring family, community, the nation, and different races together and say, here's how we can coexist. So each community, each family will bring something to the table that the other groups can benefit from. And that's really what this is all about, guys. Unity. That's what KwanZaa is about. So co-host, you want to touch on number 2? Oh, look like co-host's thing is frozen. Can you hear me, co-host?
No,
Oh.
there I am.
Oh,
I'm
there
just
you
trying
are.
to send a link to our guest.
Okay. Well, go ahead and do that. Then
So the next one is let me hold on. It's actually self-determination.
Yeah.
And it's about let me get back over here to where you sent that to me. I'm trying to do 2 things at one time. Is Kuja Kalalia, and it's
Kalegoya. Yeah.
Self-determination to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves.
Right.
So what that means to me, Gilbert, is that defining ourselves as a people, what we stand for, what's important to us as our culture. And I assume the naming ourselves is referring to us at not the name that as my who does this? My brother-in-law always calls it not
colonizers.
Not the government name, but finding what is important to you and how you want to be recognized. Because one of the things that took place, obviously you guys know this as much as myself, one of the things that took place with us was that they took away our culture, they took away our language, and they introduced their own language, their culture, and as well as a religion. And so that became a problem for us because we didn't know who to identify with, right? We have a hard time knowing who and what to identify with. And then the other part of it is creating for ourselves, creating an economic base that is strong and solid, and us uniting as a people so that we can help support each other and speaking for ourselves. So I think, Gilbert, you and I do a great job of speaking for ourselves through the business zone, the community briefing that I set up was primarily that we can no longer rely on other people to provide us with the information that we need in
Right.
order for us to be successful.
Right. And also within this number two, self-determination, is when we speak for ourselves and we also create for ourselves, is telling our own stories. And this is one of the things we try to promote here on the Business Zone, folks. You want to tell your own story for your business. Don't let someone else tell your story for you, because they're going to distort it. They're going to present it in a different kind of way. You know, if your business was formed 4 years ago and you went through certain struggles to get your business started, you tell that story. Don't let someone say, "Oh, this is just another small business that's in the industry. They're fledgling." No, we're not going to do that, folks. We're going to tell our story because our customers and clients want to hear our story, why we started our business, why we formed the business. You know, we know that when you start a business, it's usually about solving a pain in the marketplace. You know, what was that pain? Well, we need to bring resources together. We don't have access to lines of credit. We don't have access to funds. We don't have access to big markets. So coming together, man, we can pool our resources and make this happen.
Exactly. So that's very, very important. And being able to, I think, when you have a say so and you have a business, and in that business, it is being able to provide for yourself, provide for your family, being
Mm-hmm.
able to hire from within your community,
Yeah,
making sure that your community is employed, and therefore making it a better place for you
right,
and to live with your family, being
right.
able to purchase homes, being able to have say so in the community schools that your children go attend. You
Yeah,
do that by being strong in who you are, and that's
yeah,
and having determination to
yeah,
say, this is what I want, no matter what the obstacles are. This
yeah.
is what I need in order for my family to be safe, for me to be safe, for me to be able to thrive in the community that I'm living in.
And co-host, this is a big example to what happened back in 2020 when you launched the community briefing platform. Because when this COVID pandemic hit, most of our people didn't know where to go, what to do, how to get information, and you launched this program to tell our story, to give us resources, to tell us where we can go to get loans, or grants, lines of credit, funding from the government. That was you. It was nobody else but you. You had that platform, man. I'm telling you, you bring the bankers together, you bring all these other folks together so they can share information. You bring the health department together so that they can tell you what to do to prevent further infections, and you know how to be safe and all of that. So kudos to you, co-host. That was great. That's part of the number two, self-determination, man.
And one of the reasons was, Gilbert, was because I knew um, that we're the last ones to get the information, man.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
always the last ones to get the information, and I knew with this particular situation, we didn't have a big window. We had a
right.
real small window in which to operate. And
Yes,
so if we didn't operate and we didn't get that information right away, then we were going to once again lose out.
yes,
And we already had so many businesses that were hanging on by a thread all by them little lonesomes without the pandemic.
yes.
um I knew that we had to get on it right away. And
Yeah.
so that was my motivation, was
Man, I was so proud of you when you jump up there in front of everything and you make this thing happen, man. You know, you bring together these community leaders and you put them on the platform and you say, hey, you know, our people need to know what's going on, because really most of us didn't know what the heck was going on. We're here about, COVID here, COVID there, and then, you know, people are dying and don't know where to get resources. You can't get water, you can't get toilet paper, none of that stuff, right? And you were the one who took the bull by the horn and said, I gotta inform our people. So
I
that,
just wanted
man,
to make, because I know us. I know what happens to us. I know what we, if we didn't if someone didn't act, that we were going to be in some big trouble.
right?
And that's why I did what I did. So
Yeah,
primarily I wanted to make sure our people got exactly what they needed, how, and with it. And so many people, so many banks were like, okay, we're going to give you this money, and we're going to give you this money, we're going to give you this. And I'm like,
yeah.
how many times have we
We
heard that?
heard that.
Right? And where exactly is the money going to go? And
Right.
how do we have accessibility? So I thought in my little head, well,
Yeah.
you know what? If I bring you in a platform and you get to tell me where I'm
Yeah.
going, that money going to go,
Yeah.
I will, at least I have had some input.
Yeah. That
so,
that was just phenomenal, man. I love that.
so
I
I guess
love
that
that.
was my self-determination, huh?
Yep. Yep. For sure. So the third one is Ujima.
hmm
Ujima is collective work and responsibility. So, and again, this one could lend itself to the community briefing too, right? To build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problem and solve them together. That's principle number 3 of KwanZaa. And that's what my co-host did. She get on there, she did her thing. I was in the background, helping small businesses by on Zoom and online, while she was in the forefront doing her thing. So together, guys, we got to make this thing happen.
Right. So the collective work. So one of the things that's very, very important to me is that I feel that if we work together as a community, and all of us, look at me. I tell, this is something that I talk about in every class that I do. I talk about how all of my friends, pretty much all my colleagues, are business coaches.
Yes.
Now, in a regular world, you would think we were all competitive, right? We were
Right.
all competitors, and we are trying not to. We'd rather keep all the business to ourselves than to share it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that's not true. So
Right.
collectively, you and I have been working together. Well, we've been on the show for 6 years, so we're
Yeah.
going into our 7th year in 2023. But we were
Mm-hmm.
working together prior to that, so we
Yes.
complement each other. And
Right.
all of the other consultants out there that I work with, we complement each other. I have
Yeah.
no problem sharing if it's
Yeah.
in the best interest of my client. I
Right.
will share and refer that client to the person that can best help them. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I call collective works from
Oh
my
yeah.
standpoint.
Oh yeah.
And the responsibility is, I'm responsible. I have assigned myself the responsibility to make sure that our businesses are business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready.
Yeah.
So I work with numerous of organizations in the community, and as do you, Gilbert, and we all have the same mission,
Yes.
making sure that our businesses are comparable in the space that they're in.
Right. And what we do also, we form a collective of resources that our small businesses and our folks in the community can benefit from. Because you handle bookkeeping and accounting, I handle some small business certification, your back office, setting up your infrastructure, getting you access to government contracts. Then we've got Carlos Garcia, who is one of our regular partners here on the program. He provides IT services for you, help you guys to understand how to set up your system, your website, how to prevent malware and all of that to take over and disable you from generating revenues using your website. And then we've got no other than Mr. Greg Sneed, who is our financial expert. He
Right.
comes in and he shares with all of you guys, how to look at your money, how to look at retirement, how to invest that money, all of those types of things, man. It's just phenomenal. Then we have
And
attorneys.
not to discount all the guests that we've had on that have come
Yes,
on and shared their information and expertise on
right.
how to do better business. So
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, this is our responsibility. So collectively,
Yeah,
we're doing collective work in order to improve our business community, make sure our businesses are ready for whatever
Right.
opportunities present themselves. So
Right.
again, another challenge to you guys for 2023. Um, find others in your area of expertise and work together.
Yes.
Gilbert
Yes.
is like the certification guru, and
Yes.
but instead of just trying for as an individual company applying for the opportunities that are out there, why don't you come together as groups,
Yes.
and then collectively go after some of the bids and the opportunities that are available to you.
That's a great point, Crystal, because that transitions itself into principle number 4, which is Ujamaa. Ujamaa
Mhm.
is cooperative economics, folks. And what that means is to build and maintain our own stores, our own shops, and our own businesses so that we can profit from each other. We can profit together from each other, by each other, with each other, and we can access contracts, government contracts, because as we know, the government has over $500 billion in contract and procurement opportunities. Not too many of us are going after that. Why aren't we going after that? Everybody else is tapping into that, getting their share of contracts. Why aren't we doing that? So,
Right.
number 4, Ujamaa, that's what it's telling us. With cooperative economics, we can work together in getting some of these opportunities. And one last thing I want to say, co-host, before I have you jump in here, is what we're trying to preach on this show, the Business Zone, is if you want to go after a large contract, let's say you want to go after $1 million contract, but your capacity is only, say, up to 400,000, then you can bring in 2 other small businesses with you, and all 3 of you combine your resources and go after this big $1 million contract, and then you guys can perform different aspects of the contract. So now when a $1 million contract was out of reach for you, now you can have reach and access to that because there are 3 of you. Your capacity is bigger. You're much stronger. You can now perform these contracts. So these are the types of things we want you guys to do, guys. Cooperative economics.
Right. And just think about how your lives would change if if you had $1 million contract. Just just
Yeah.
just think about that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty huge, right? You and your contract would be for multiple years, right? It's not a contract just for 1 year, or as Gilbert likes to say, it's not transitional.
Right.
It's actually where you can establish what does this look like from for a 5-year period or a 2-year period or 3-year period. Look, you can project out how many employees you need. You can
Right.
project out what your revenues are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you see down the line that um you're going to need new equipment, you can better prepare for that as opposed to just you
The transactional
transition.
business where someone comes in today and they're gone tomorrow. You're not sure of the money that they're going to bring back to your store or your business. You got a contractual deal that it's for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. And now you can hire people in the community. You can hire your family members, you can hire friends, people in the community, and build the community, build that economic cooperative resources. That's what we're trying to do, guys.
Exactly. And the other part of that as well is being able to support each other and help us we're building our own stores, our
Yeah.
own livelihood. So as the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, you guys know that's my spiel, right? Our
Yeah.
dollar, and this just hurts Gilbert to the heart. So but I have to say it because it helps me emphasize how important this is. So in other communities, I know, stab in the heart. Our dollars last, their dollars last unlimited or 14 times or 12 times in the Hispanic community, 14 times in the Asian community, unlimited in the white community. In our community, it lasts 6 hours. So
Six
that
hours, folks. 6 hours. Oh my Lord. That's no good.
Which means, Gilbert, we're not supporting our own.
Right.
We're going out and we're shopping and spending all of our dollars in other communities, which is helping their communities. It's
Yeah.
helping their economic empowerment, but it's not
Yeah.
helping us, right?
Yeah.
So Ujamaa is all about building and maintaining our own stores and shops and other businesses to help create a profit so that
Mm-hmm.
we all can flourish together, right?
Right.
So I hope you guys have gone out and shopped with some black businesses this Christmas season, that you've shared the wealth of your dollars. And I know our dollars are very tight right now, and I
Yeah.
know we have a recession coming in the second quarter, but you
Mm-hmm.
can still find businesses out there that look like you, and you can
Mm-hmm.
support them. Like right now, Candance is on, and she says she's so thankful because 90% of her clients look like her. Right, very very important. I made sure this Christmas, there's an African shop in Inglewood. It's called Coquette Culture. Oh, some of the most beautiful African outfits and handbags and jewelry. Outside of buying it from the motherland itself, that's where I buy my African attire. I go over there and I support her specifically. So she's over on Market Street, guys, 234 Market Street. Go support her. Black History Month is coming up. Kwanzaa is here on the 26th. Go over there right now and support this lady's business. She has so much merchandise, Gilbert,
She
that it
does.
just
She does. I see them. They're just phenomenal. I think, Candace, you should put the name of your business in the chat so we can promote it here for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Candace put her business, all things what's uh they are intentional about shopping with me. Yes, her
Yeah.
clients are. So this is what I'm asking you guys, not just during Kwanzaa, but I do want you to go out between now and Kwanzaa, the 7 days.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you're buying gifts for your friends and family, even after Christmas, go to Candace's All That and More Boutique. She's in Culver City, over off of Overland, and she's in the shopping center right there next to the Ralphs. I want you to go over to Suzanne, who is in Inglewood, and she has this beautiful African boutique quartet culture. Go shop with her. Recycling Black Dollars. We are publishing our 2023 resource guide. So get your membership today. Get you a half-page ad so that we can support you. It is so important. Cooperative economics should be our mantra. It
It
is
should
so
be our
important.
mantra, definitely. And remember, folks, remember, when you're growing up and your parents, your mom especially, tell you, hey, you say something 3 times, you won't forget it, right? I believe in 7 times. You say it 7 times, you won't forget it. So here is what you're going to say, guys, throughout this show and after you leave the show. All that and more boutique. 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 That is Candace's place, guys. It's over there on Jefferson Boulevard, Culver City. Go check it out. The website is allthatandmoreboutique.com. Very easy. Allthatandmoreboutique.com. We got to do that cooperative economics where we share resources among each other, keep that black dollar circulating in the community. More than 6 hours, guys. More than 6 hours.
And Candace just indicated, if you mention the show, The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, she will receive a 10% off your entire purchase. So I'm going to say New Year's Eve is coming up. And I tell you, Candace got some sexy outfits because she models them all the time on Facebook. So yeah, and go on her Facebook page and she got some sexy outfits, guys. Going over there and get your New Year's Eve outfit and go spend that time with your significant other and be sexy. So going over and visit Miss Candace. She's got a beautiful store. But again, that's what it's about. Candace, our memberships are You get a membership and a half-page ad for $200 right now, and you also get a mention and on our mobile app. So reach out to me later on. A comfy, casual, classy with an edge. That's her motto. That's her motto.
Comfy, casual, classy with an edge, ladies. Ladies, you hear that? And gents, you go over to Candance's place. All that and more boutique, guys. Check it out.
Right.
Check it out for Christmas. Still got 2 days to go, guys. Still got your shopping you can get in. You get 10% off if you mention the Business Zone with Crystal and Coach Gilbert Buchanan.
Exactly. So, and then I'm going to put the other one for the African homemade and that's the other thing I want to tell you about coquette core cultures. Her husband, now this is, you can't get no more than this, right? Her husband actually they're from Senegal, and her husband hand makes all of the garments.
Really?
He goes to Senegal, he gets the materials, and he comes back and he hand makes all of the garments.
Man, that's amazing. That
And
is
it's
amazing.
absolutely beautiful. And they customize it to your body. So men and women, it's not just women, it's men and women products over there. So that's our economic cooperative, Ujama. So very important, guys, that we support each other, but not just rise each other up. We have to support each other up economically. So send your friends and your family. And if anyone has a business out there, please support your family member in their business. A lot of times that does not happen in families. They forget that you in business. Most time they don't even know you in business.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Candace, we're looking forward to it too. I'm going to reach out to you at the beginning of the year and let's see what we can do together and make sure we get people in. The next one is
Nia.
Nia.
And Nia is purpose.
Yes, to make our collective vocation the building and development and develop our communities to restore our people to their traditional greatness. I was in Africa, South Africa, and the continent, and in November I was in South Africa, in September I was in Egypt.
Yeah,
the continent is absolutely beautiful, Gilbert, and I watched and I saw our people, and I walked in the stores and everybody looked like us. They were so kind and so loving and so sweet, and I see that in us, right? But what we need to do is we have to be able to bring that our culture to us, because somehow or another we forgot to share our culture with us.
Right.
So it's okay to be part of this country that we live in, but we cannot forget who and where we came from.
That's right. That's our roots right there.
Right. And we have to be purposeful about it. We have to make sure that it's something that is in the foremost of your brain every single day, right?
Got to restore that traditional greatness, man.
That traditional greatness. And all of us was raised with traditional values when we were growing up. And I know my mother and I'm sure your parent used to say the same thing to you as well, Gilbert. If you're going to do it right and do it good. Right. And do it well. And so with us running our businesses, we have to make sure we're running those businesses well. We have the best customer service. We have whatever resources we have, we use them effectively to make sure we're running effective businesses. And we make sure that we don't ignore marketing our business and making sure people know that we exist, because closed mouths don't get fed, as they say.
That's right. And I'd like to put a shout out there, a challenge out there to many of our small businesses. Ask yourself, when was the last time you called one of your clients or customers and said, "Hey, how are you doing?" How have you been? Do you like our services? Is there anything else we can do for you? The last purchase you made or the last hiring that you've done by hiring our company to do work for you, was it a good job? Did we do a good job? Is there anything else we could have done better? Ask those questions, guys, because I'm telling you, sometimes when you do that, you get new business out of that. You never know. Sometimes folks are there just trying to figure out, okay, how do I get this done? Oh, yes, this small business does that. So reach out, guys. You want to reach out. I want you to do a pledge for 2023, January of 2023. Reach out to at least 10 of your customers or clients and call them up. Say, hey, how are you doing? Since we've provided services for you, has the service helped you to elevate your business? Is there anything we could have done better? Can we do something else for you? Let us know. And you'll be surprised to see the type of reception you get.
Exactly. And this is a good season. You can
Yes.
send all your clients Christmas, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa greetings. You can also spend this time on your social media, going and sending messages out and recognizing them, and at the same time talk about whatever sales you have coming up, whatever opportunities you have coming up. Remind them to schedule an appointment with you next year, so that they can come in. And if you have a store and you're a retailer, make sure you use that time to encourage them to support you next year. At the top of the show, I talked about a challenge that I had, that I presented to my clients was, let's forecast how much money you want to make next year. And then you can sit down with myself or Gilbert or any of my other colleagues and let's figure out a strategy or how you're going to get to that magic number, right? And how many sales you need to make every month, and how many products or services you need to offer, and how many people you need to reach in order to do that. We're out here. That's what our jobs are, is to help you reach those, whatever goals and quotas you have. Then that's what, be purposeful about everything you do when it comes to our economic cooperation. One of the things, because they are talking about a recession next year, you want to be prepared for that, right? You don't want it to catch you unawares like the pandemic did. You want to be prepared for that.
Be prepared, man. Because we've seen what happened when we were not prepared in 2020. 440,000 minority businesses went out of business. 440,000. That's almost half a million minority businesses, guys. We got to take these things seriously. We got to take it seriously. We got to get our paperwork in order, know where they are, have them available at our fingertips at all times. It's amazing, co-host. So yesterday I was doing some work here on my computer, and one of my clients, the bigger clients, called me up and said, hey, I need your W-9 form. Can I have your form W-9 because I need to pay you? I need to send you this check, but we can't send a check unless we get the form W-9. I said, say no more. I'll get you this form in 6 seconds or less. 6 seconds or less. I jump on my Small Biz Pro, bada boom, bada bang. In 6 seconds, he's got it. He's got my form there because it was already in my system. So that's what we need to do, guys. That's what we need to. We want to have our paperwork in place, man.
Right, when the opportunities present themselves. So that we're challenging you guys. We want to make sure, and we practice, Gilbert and I practice Kwanzaa 7 principles on a daily basis.
Every day. Every day, guys. So number 6. What's number 6?
Is
Kumba,
which is creativity. Now, I'm going to say this about Black folks. We are some of the most creative people on the planet.
Yes.
We set the trends for the world. Globally, we set the trends, right?
Yeah.
So we creativity and Kumba is to do always as much as we can in a way that we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and prosperous than we inherited it. So we want to make sure everything is beautiful. Everything. Use your creativity. Use your creativity to get more customers in your door.
Yeah.
Use your creativity to add some spice to the products or the services that you send out, that you're out there providing, right? Don't
Right.
just be humdrum. Don't just do enough to get by. Take it to the next level. It's so important that you take it to the next level.
Yes.
And
and
you know,
and and what?
Gilbert, I always say, people's like, accounting's so boring. No, accounting and managing your money ain't nothing boring about that to me. So I go out of my way to make that a sexy topic, to make
Yes.
sure that when you leave me, you really truly understand how to implement that and implement that into your business, so that it's a helpful tool to you, and that's something that you're going to do consistently every day, so that you know what your numbers are always,
Right.
right?
Right. And that is so true, man. And in addition to what my co-host said about us being very creative, I just want you guys to know and remember that the black entrepreneurs are some of the best inventors there is on the marketplace, even though our ideas and inventions were stolen from us back in the day, because we were not allowed to patent or trademark our inventions. That was just the rule. They didn't allow us to do that. But now more and more of us are doing those things. Some of the things we invented because of our creativity was the air conditioning unit. We have blood plasma bag. We got bicycle frame. We got the refrigerator. We got mops, mailbox, guys. All of those things are things that we invented. The elevator, all of that stuff are stuff because of our creativity. And you know how they say creativity is born out of necessity. You need to do something, and it's not there. You go create it. that's how
Exactly.
that's how we thrive over the years.
And I really think about it, Gilbert. Here we were, enslaved, and having to create wealth for our enslavers,
Yes.
and we managed, even in that, to be creative, knowing that we weren't going to benefit from it, but we
Right.
still utilized our creativity, our
Right.
imagination, and made things so much easier for the
Yes.
enslaver's life. And so, if we can do that for the enslaver, I sure think we should be able to do that for ourselves.
Oh, for sure, definitely. And in the spirit of community, I want to throw something extra out there for you guys, so you to start thinking about. Okay, if you own a home in whatever city you live, there is a program called CDBG, Community Development Block Grant, that's out there to help small businesses, to help people in community function and help you to beautify your community. So that grant is money that you receive from the city in which you live to fix up your house, to fix up the roof, the windows, the doors, beautify the home so that your community look better. So for those of you who are interested, you contact me after the show and I can provide you the information. If you're living in a city where the population is more than 50,000, your city is eligible for that funds, and that's a federal money that come to each city every year. Many of you may not have known that. So that's part of that kahumba that we're talking about. Okay, kahumba, guys. We want
Being
you to think
creative. So
about
yeah,
that.
there's so many opportunities. And our guest is here, so we're going to bring them on in a few minutes. Just before we finish the last principle, which is Imani, and that's faith, to believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and the victory of our struggle. So very important to work together, to support one another, and understand that our beginnings may have been challenging, but that doesn't mean that we have to perpetually live in life challenge. So have faith that you have the power, the determination, the purpose, the courage to make your life and our community's lives a better place for all of us to live. And that requires us collectively working together and being responsible for each other in order to make sure that happens. So that's
Remember, it
our
takes a
rendition.
village. Remember, it takes a village, folks. So you got to work together as small businesses, as people in community, family members. You know, if folks who are listening are not entrepreneurs, but you know someone who is an entrepreneur, your family member is an entrepreneur, make sure you ask them, tell me about your business. What is it you do? Because many family members do not know what their family members do in business. You'll be surprised, guys.
Exactly. So with that, Gilbert, we have our guest here. Hello. I know you guys, we sorry for the misunderstanding, but we are happy to have you. And this is Akil, right?
Akil, straight up.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to
Hello, how
the
are
Business
you?
Zone. We're doing fine, thank you.
Hello, how are you? We're so happy to have you. So we just been talking about KwanZaa and the principles of KwanZaa and how it relates to us as business owners and as well as business coaches within our community. But we do want to talk about why you guys are here and what's happening on December 26th. And this is going to be the 46th annual KwanZaa Gwardie Festival and Parade that is going to be happening.
May I say?
Yes.
Look,
welcome.
Okay, thank you. And I'm so happy to be here. And it's the 46th annual KwanZaa Gwardie Day.
Okay. Oh, Gwardie. All right. Love it.
Gwardie Day. Gwardie Day is procession, as in a spiritual procession. It's not just a simple parade, but it's a parade or a procession where we honor our ancestors, where we honor the unseen energies that exist around us on a daily basis. And we start KwanZaa on December 26th every year. Why? Because KwanZaa is our new year. I'm a Weusi or African American. And why do I say this? Let me give you a little background. On December 26, 1966, that's the sixth day if you add those numbers up. At 1302, you add that up and that's a 6. And the street name was Santa Barbara. It turns out that is the code for Shango. You see, Shango is not any old name. Shango was a hero, the energy that governed liberation, energy that governed raising justice, the energy that governed empowering those who are oppressed over those who oppress them. That's why Shango was denied support about liberation. So that's why Santa Barbara was coded as Shango. And Shango's number is 6. If you were astute enough to understand what I'm saying, that's the 666 prophecy. We thought of, because of how we have been raised, we were thinking of that as being something filthy, dirty, mean,
negative, evil. But it's not.
And it was none of that.
Right.
None of that at all. In fact, at this address, 1302 Santa Barbara, that was the Aquarian Spiritual Center and Bookshop run by the late Dr. Alfred and his wife Bernice Lagan. The Aquarian Spiritual Center and Bookshop. And you couldn't be in Dr. Lagan's presence for over 5 minutes before he would say, "A new age is coming. A new age is coming." That was his mantra. And he of Aquarius. That's what he was talking about. We know of Ron Townsend in the Fifth Dimension. And well, Ron Townsend was one of the people who attended the Aquarian Spiritual Center. That's why he was an influence to come out with that song, "The Coming of the Age of Aquarius." But as I said a moment ago, Dr. Lagan was expecting the age of Aquarius. He had no idea that it would be the age. That is what KwanZaa represents, a new age. And this age had been predicted. You see, the book of Revelations was published in 96 AD, and it contained stories from ancient Kumt, or ancient Egypt. Kumt is the ancient name of Egypt. Egypt is a Greek name. And that is not the name that we called the place. We called it Kumt, meant black land. And we called ourselves Kumchu. And I said ourselves. Yes, we are the descendants of the people who originally occupied, and we called ourselves Kumchu. Today we refer to ourselves, you've heard me mention a moment ago, as Weusi. Weusi essentially means the very same thing as Kumchu meant. It meant blacks. That's what the name Weusi means, blacks. We, us, and I. And that has been our name for over 60 years. I mean, I know that wrote a book, Negroes with Guns. He was a former head of the NAACP in North Carolina. And he was a Marine sniper. And he had written a book about defending ourselves. And that's what he was about. He was about encouraging the defense of our communities, the upliftment of our communities, and the strengthening and building of our communities. Well, this is where the name became, or he is probably the first that began using the name Weusi. And it sits, the fact that many of you have not heard, it should not be surprising. Because, frankly put, we lack the educational infrastructure to reach the mass of our people. And that's something that we have to work on. And this year coming, that's going to be one of the steps that we with KwanZaa people of color, Melba Carter, Jackson, and myself, we will be putting together an infrastructure to build and strengthen our culture, the year of unity, just like it was on December 26, 1966. It started on a Monday as well. That's why we refer to this year as a squared year. It is essentially the same as it was at the beginning in 1966, except for on December 26, 1966, it was a full month. Ancestors had said new age would come. And how would you know it? It would have a close association with the number 6, and there would be a full moon. Now, how they knew that, I had and I have no idea. But that is, as the facts show, that's what happened. So KwanZaa had been prophesized, and it's just something like people made up. Okay, listen, what you just so eloquently went through. The Seven Principles was written first by a man named Arthur Joseph Graham. Arthur Graham also started the Black Student Council in San Diego in 1963. So in it was at Cal State San Diego, to be specific. So in 64, when he heard I'm sure you've all heard of an organization called Organization of Afro-American Unity, based upon, at that time, the Organization of African Unity, because Malcolm in May of 64 had been in Nigeria and Ghana. He had also been in Egypt. And so when he was greatly influenced by what he saw in terms of the Organization of African Unity. So he said, I'm going to start a similar organization like that for that. That's what he put the call out. I'm going to start an organization. I'm going to call it the Organization of Afro-American Unity. And this was on June 24th through the 28th. And it took place, the inaugural meeting, in the Audubon Ballroom, the same ballroom that Malcolm would later, the next year, be assassinated in. But when Arthur Graham heard of this new organization about to be launched, Arthur was somewhat right.
Signal is kind of bad.
Yeah, it seemed like you're frozen up there.
Yeah. So while
there.
his signal is coming back, oh, there we go. Better. Let me let him back in. His signal got better. There we go.
And so he arranged for the BSC to have a delegate at this inaugural meeting. And this delegate's name was Josh von Woolfolk. And so Joshua was the one that were gathered that day, some of whom were Malcolm X, his wife Betty Shabazz, League, Shrine of the Black Madonna, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, I think it was Gloria Richardson, and there were other people that were there, obviously, Josh von Woolfolk, and there were other folks that the books of the history of books do not mention by name, but there were applications were there. This is when the Seven Principles was first presented. Now, the next year, in 1965, back in San Diego, the BSC approached a man by the name of Maulana Karenga. He may have been known as Ron Karenga at that time, but they asked him to translate the titles, Seven Principles, Unity Through Faith, into Swahili, which is what, as Arthur said, he did an excellent job. And, now, later on in the living room of Joe Vinson, it was Joe Vinson that took the Seven Principle document to Karenga to have him translate. But he was later at a meeting at Joe Vinson's house, which was attested to by Reverend Salimu P. Ridgway, presently of Barstow, California. As she said, I was there. That meeting, Karenga was told, we, the Black Student Council, we want you to start a holiday between December 26th and January 1st, and to give it an African name and base it around the Seven Principles that you've just translated. So that's what took place. Now, it didn't, I mean, that's what he was told to him. Now, fast forward to Christmas Day, 1965. Ngao Damu. Ngao means she, means blood. So he was a soldier. He was the first committee or commander of the US organization. And what Damu's daughter, Terry, wanted to give Karenga's daughter, Tanai, a gift. And so Damu gathered Terry up and his son, Damu's son, Anza, and they went to shopping on Christmas Day, which was typically Thrifties. They didn't find a chocolate doll. I had to laugh with Damu because Damu, he thought when I told the story, he thought I was embarrassing him, telling me he had a white doll. No, they got a doll. And they wanted to get a chocolate doll. They couldn't find one, so they just got a doll. And they got and they went by Karenga's house, and when they got there, Karenga said, "Man, you know we don't celebrate Christmas in my house." And Damu said, "Yeah, I know, but my children are not babies, and I can't tell them we don't do this and we don't do that without." So, and Damu's daughter Terry would chime in. You know how children be ear hustling. Yeah, if you take away Christmas, what are we gonna do? So that put the onus on the adults. Haiba Karenga, Maulana's wife, and Damu were the first two within the organization that committed to it. We're going to do this. We're going to bring a holiday to a sister by the name of Keiko. Keiko now lives in Philadelphia. Keiko Davis, a brother by the name of Tayati. I don't know where Tayati is at this point in time, but Tayati, and I'm going by what Keiko informed me. I'm just, this is how I learned it, by Damu sharing with me, and because it was Damu that shared with me how he had gone by Karenga's house in that little story. And then it was Keiko that shared with me how, and Damu were the first two to really get on the a task force with the organization to bring this about. Now, Maulana himself, people know him for being knowledgeable in Swahili, but he's knowledgeable in Zulu, and so he utilized the Zulu festival known as the Mkosi. The Mkosi. There's two masters. The other one is the meaning of reed. This is where, and it takes place in September, which is springtime in the Southern Hemisphere. And it's where the Zulu virgins in holding a reed up, they present themselves to the king. And they say, we are ready to become mothers. And we are committed to upholding the Zulu nation. And this is the Mkosi was a multiple day or a multi-day holiday. It was not just one day. It took place over coming of age ceremonies that were taking place during this time frame. But this was the template that was utilized to build KwanZaa around. And they, instead of it just being limited to the 4 or 5 days of the Mkosi, of course, they spread it to all 7 days, as the instructions had said. Base it around the 7 principles and give it an African name. Now, what would you call a harvest festival is a springtime planting festival. But again, this is where they pulled in the members of the organization, they pulled in the knowledge that they had of the New Yam Festival that's also done in Nigeria and amongst various societies, whether they be New Yam Festival. That's where the new yams are presented. Before they present it to the answers, to the unseen energies, after the blessing, and then they begin the selling and the distribution of the yam, because the yam is a staple in that portion of Africa or Cable. Now, the other aspects. Now, let me back up a moment. It was a Dr. Teo. Dr. Teo was at Cal State Northridge. He gave pointer information to Dr. Karenga, but I interviewed him at one point in time. He didn't want to say anything. He said, "Well, go talk to Karenga about that." He didn't want to say anything about what he had offered, he had taught, but I'm just, my purpose is to inform people that this was a not just that helped make this. This was something that was done with several people involved. And I don't know all of their names. And obviously, Dr. Lagan was involved because it took place at his location. Now, at the very first KwanZaa, what they did, and this is how Damu explained it to me. If we could get children to do this, and what they did, what the children they took the different letters of the word, and at that time it was spelled KWANZA, and they were supposed to go. K stands for Kenya, and Kenya is a country in East Africa where they speak Swahili. Again, the emphasis was upon getting us to speak Swahili and do it in a fun way. W is for Watusi, and the Watusi come from Rwanda where they speak Swahili, and so forth on down the line. But there was a little Imamu originally had not been part of the first 6 children. And she said, I want to be a part of it too. And so Damu said, okay. He made another A, because he's the one that did the letters, KWANZA. So he made another A, and he had his daughter Terry wear that A. And so Kinamo did the K, and her name starts with the K. And in the picture, there's a picture, and I urge everybody to go to the BBC site. It's called the BBC First KwanZaa, and you'll see that photograph. And in that photograph, you'll see the 7 children, and you'll see a girl with in a leopard skin motif. That's Terry. She had the last A. So after they had gone through the skit, and it came time to take photographs. Take that A off now. Take it off. And she took it off. And at the same, there you go. You get on with it. I like that. Great. Fantastic. Oh, wow. That is it. If you look closely at her hands, the girl in the leopard skin motif, you look closely at her hands. That's string. That's string that from that A.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's the very first KwanZaa.
In an emotional moment here. And she said that the little boy that was in front of her, he has a surprised look on his face. And what it was, hide the A now, hide the A. So she grabbed him. She grabbed him and pulled him back towards her. And he was caught by surprise. What you pulling on me for? You know how little kids be. And so, but that is the first KwanZaa.
Awesome.
Center. And now, when you stop and think about it, you hear about an age of this or an age of that, the age of Taurus, the age of Aries, whatever. But this is the only time that I know that an age can be pinpointed down to the day and time. December 26th, 1966, Santa Barbara at 6 p.m. And the streets that converge at that point are Raymond, and Raymond, R is 2, A is 1, Y is 1, that's 4. M is 4, that's 8. O is 7. 8 and 7 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. And N is and D is 4. 6 again. And the address on the Raymond side is 4011. Again, a convergence of 6.
Wow. So Akil, so the parade, because we're about to run out of time. So the parade is on December 26th. And I see that it's traveling south on Crenshaw from Adams Boulevard to Lamert. and will culminate and evolve in the. Now, I'm gonna need your help on pronouncing this. Is this the yes, your theme is Kila Kitu? Is that correct?
Kila Kitu. Kitu means every Kwanzaa. That's what Kila Kitu means. Kila Kitu Kwanzaa. Everything Kwanzaa. Everything. That's why I took the time to break it down, because most people, and I say this, I don't know how the people that are listening to this blog, I hope it's a whole bunch, but most people said, I mean, they just haven't heard it. It's just not something.
No, we have not heard it.
Yes, and
no,
so
I mean, this is
December 26th, 11 a.m. Adams and Crenshaw to Lamert Park, and come out, join in. It looks like we're gonna have a bang up parade.
All righty. Well, I'm looking forward to it. And there's going to be local jazz, R&B, reggae, African drums, and festival music and dance. And
you.
I am, and me.
You are
and
our
me.
Iyaba.
So this year I am honored. Myself and Torrey Brandon Reese, the founder and director of Family, he's of the family. He's going to be the king, and I myself, Crystal Mitchell, the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, is going to be Ayada, the queen. So you guys come out and wave to me. I'll be waving back to you, and we're going to be celebrating Kwanzaa. And I am most honored that you guys selected me. So thank you very, very much. And we're going to make sure we tell everyone all about it. I've already posted it on our social media. I'll make sure it gets to, I'll continue to do that until Christmas Day, so that we have a nice crowd of people coming out to celebrate Kwanzaa.
Crystal, I want to thank you. That picture was, I mean, the importance of that picture is that, to my knowledge, and I hate to say this, but it's the truth, it is the only surviving picture of the first Kwanzaa. Why? Carl
It made your day.
Say it again.
It made your day.
Yeah, it made my day. But Carl Kima, he was the keeper of all the information. And his wife had to move from one spot to another, and he forgot the box. And
wow! So this is the only picture that exists.
I had forgotten it. It was 2 weeks past. You know how those things be. Oh my goodness, what did I do? And it was just too late. He couldn't go back and get it because it had been evidently thrown away. But let us hope that somebody somewhere may have that box. Because as he said that Maulana would oftentimes ask me, "Do you have any more pictures?" He said, "No." I said, "We lost them." But that one picture, because you see, I'm saying there may even be a picture of all 7 of the letters around the children's necks, but the only surviving one is the one that spells KWANZA. And happy Kwanzaa, y'all.
Okay.
I'm spelling it. HAPI, the original word that meant happy. Okay? Which meant up. Yes, that's right. So
we thank you for your knowledge and your expertise in this, because we all needed a little learning on this. And thank you for that. Then you pretty much endorsed a lot of what we were talking about today about the 7 principles. And for those who are in the community, those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. And we have a very, very, very special guest here on the show, who's going to make my co-host the Queen of Kwanzaa on the 26th. And we can't wait to see her stroll down the Crenshaw Boulevard there
I'll be riding. I'm not strolling. and behind him is Melba Carter. Thank you, Melba. She has worked tirelessly in the community for as long as I've known her. She's a friend of the Recycling Black Dollars. She worked with Muhammad Nazardine when RBD was launched in 1988. And so Melba, thank you for all the work you have done in this community, because you have been working a very long time for the people. And so talk about collective work. That lady right back there is collective work. So we want to
thank you, Ms. Carter, for bringing this historian with this wealth of knowledge to us to share with our small business population and people in the community what KwanZaa is really about. So thank you.
And the passion and the power behind it. So we want to wish everyone a very happy holiday season, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and most definitely Happy KwanZaa. Be safe out there, guys. Spend time with your family. And then again, we have to always be working purposefully and responsibly to making sure that we rise up our people to the greatness that we know that they are. They were great on the continent we came from, and we are also great here in America and all throughout the African diaspora. So I want to thank you all. The Business Zone is closing out this year, 2022. It has been a phenomenal year for us. It's been a phenomenal year for the show. And we just were looking forward to 2023 being just as phenomenal. And we want to make sure we're always there to help you as a small business community. Make sure you're thriving and you're striving for increased wealth. And making sure you can employ our community and make our community that much better of a place for us to live in. We have to do this for the future of our children, guys. So Gilbert and I want to thank you all, and we're going to sign off. We want to thank Melba. We want to thank Akil for coming out. I will see you guys on waving my queenly wave on Monday the 26th. My queenly wave.
And folks, we will be back on January 6th, folks. That's the first Friday in January 2023. We're going to be bringing a lot more knowledge to you guys. And in the spirit of balancing entrepreneurship, relationship, and love, we are going to be we're going to have another guest on the show that will speak to that and share their experience with you guys. But 2023, we're going gung ho. 2023, guys, we're going to help you guys to get certified as a small and minority business. We're going to help you to access and obtain government contracts. That's the only way we can get rich right now in this community, in this economy, guys. We can't do transactional business anymore and get rich. We got to do that contractual business. So on behalf of my wonderful co-host, who's going to be the queen of KwanZaa, and our very special guest, Miss Melba Carter and Mr. Akil, thank you guys so much. You guys enjoy your holiday.
Thank you.
And you're invited back anytime, just so you know that. Anytime to come share your wisdom with us.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
So we're going to be signing out right now. We're out.
Bye-bye.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.